Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Darth Matu's Holocron, and welcome to another installment of Darth Matu Reviews. This time, we're going to be talking about Bloodhunt. It's a free-to-play Battle Royale that is set in the World of Darkness. For those of you who don't know, the World of Darkness is a tabletop role-playing universe that features a grimdark urban fantasy setting filled with werewolves, vampires, mages, and much more than that. This game is supposed to follow one specific night during that timeline, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. For now, let's talk about the game. I'm going to start with the negatives, just to get the bad stuff out of the way. I mean, it's important to remember that this is a free-to-play Battle Royale game, and it does feature an in-game store and microtransaction monetization. Now, I'm not normally a fan of such things, but that being said, I still don't mind tossing a couple bucks towards a well-made product. I mean, why not, right? It's the best way to support the things you like. The problem here isn't the transactions, it's the way they do it. For one, there's just not a whole lot of stuff to buy at the moment. There's a season battle pass like most games like this have had since Fortnite, and they have this thing called a flash store. But the flash store is a bit strange. Rather than a catalog that you can peruse through and buy at your leisure, you have 3 random items that pop up for just a limited amount of time. I feel like it leaves a little bit something to be desired by severely limiting your options, and you would think a free game that aims at monetizing itself through microtransactions would be more diverse, I guess. And that being said, the game is still in early access, like I said, and the developers have been open about their plans to support the game well into the future, so this issue might resolve itself sooner rather than later. The only other real negative within the game comes from the Elysium. In between matches, you will get to a common area, right, that's shared by players, and in this space there are NPCs, and they can even give you quests. Nothing crazy, just some fetch missions during the actual matches, but they add a welcome layer of variety and nuance that keeps the game feeling fresh, despite the fact that you're playing on the same map over and over again. The negative in this area is that the Elysium is, well, it's pretty empty. As of now, there are only 3 NPCs to speak to, and they give you a very large space to run around in. It just feels sparse, which is a bit disappointing, considering that vampires are known for things like clubbing and stuff like that. But that said, again, the game is in the early access, and developers have been very open that they're going to be adding more to the Elysium, even guest spots from famous characters throughout the franchise. But alright, with that out of the way, let's talk about the goodness, because there is a lot of goodness in this game. The gameplay itself is simplistic, but not in a bad way. The controls are intuitive and very easy to pick up. It supports the controller on your PC, and the combat is fast-paced and fun. It's built around the same premise as most Battle Royale games. You start on a large map, alone or with a team, and then you scrounge for resources against the others as the map slowly closes in around you. There is no new ground broken in terms of Battle Royales here. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. What is done right, and this is a fine example of the genre, especially considering that it's free. What really sets this game apart, though, is the attention to detail and the overarching lore. World of Darkness is an expansive lore, and it has a lot of really hardcore fans. A lot of them were very surprised when this game was announced and questioned how such a thing could even work. Well, now we know. The Elysium serves to add a lot to the overall atmosphere, even as sparse as it is. The NPCs, while not exactly chatty, do tell you important things about the backstory and the context. The game takes place just after the Second Convention of Prague, an event in-game that was supposed to bring reconciliation between 2 warring factions of vampires. But the meeting was attacked by the Second Inquisition, a modern force of vampire hunters backed by governments across the world, and this threw the city into chaos. The chaos is the game that you play in Bloodhunt. Each match is supposed to be a tiny microcosm of that night, and it really does feel that way. The map itself is absolutely gorgeous, but more, it has the right tone. Rain falls from dark clouds overhead, dark-colored buildings and narrow alleyways are lit by isolated splashes of neon. Random mortals wander back alleys alone, caught in the crossfire of the supernatural war all around them. In World of Darkness, vampires live by a code known as the Masquerade. Essentially, this means that mortals can never find out about their existence. Doing obviously supernatural things in public will frighten them, and it will reveal you on the map for any nearby players. Mortals are also very squishy. The players might be able to soak tons of bullets, but they're vampires. Regular humans, that again are scattered all over the map, die in one shot, so you have to watch your aim, especially when you're on street level. Which will only be for part of the match. As a vampire, you are stronger and faster than normal people, and as such can easily climb any building. The verticality in the game is honestly amazing, and it adds a level of nuance to the gunplay that is very much appreciated. The parkour could make Assassin's Creed cry, with vampires easily scaling buildings, sliding off ramps, and leaping away into the darkness to avoid other players, or the Second Inquisition. You can go into nightclubs or find rooftop cafes. The map and the gameplay feel very World of Darkness, which is a real plus in my book. They put so much lore into this game that it actually has a codex, like Mass Effect or Dragon Age. How many Battle Royales do you know that have that, especially for free? Gameplay is divided into 3 clans, or types of vampires, with each clan having 2 slightly different classes. They each feel unique and easy to pick up and master. Customization is a little bit sparse at the moment. Like I said, the store is not really all there yet, and you essentially just have male and female options with a couple of different heads. But the developers have again been open about adding more clans, and we can assume customization will come as well. Which brings me to the final point of this review. Shark Mob, the developer behind Bloodhunt, are consummate professionals. This game was an admittedly difficult task to pull off, and the entire fan base was positive that it was going to be awful. And yet, they've done it. It is not awful. It's honestly a very good and fun game that is beautiful to look at. The thing that really stands out to me is that they are active when talking with their fan base, and a lot of developers forget how important that is these days. The devs themselves are active on both the World of Darkness and the Bloodhunt Discords, and they readily take in fan feedback. They've already corrected the rate of XP gain in response to fan complaints, and are constantly engaging and listening to the community. To me, this is the hallmark of a great developer, and it is a skill that many larger companies have forgotten about these days. In conclusion, Bloodhunt is a great game, especially considering the fact that, again, there is no price tag attached. It is a bit sparse, but it has plenty of promises from a very professional developer to add more, and I predict this game will only continue to grow in popularity and quality. I gotta give Bloodhunt an 8 out of 10. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for us today here at the Holocron. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, then please hit subscribe and just emasculate that like button for me. It really helps against the algorithm. And I'll see you around. Have a good one, folks. Stay safe out there, and may the Force break your chains.